right, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel for a brand new Pokemon investing and collecting video. Today, we are looking at 10 cards that are exploding in value. That's right. Pokemon is going absolutely crazy right now, and why not bring you guys the best of the best and the latest information? So I appreciate each and every one of you that do watch these videos and those that are subscribing. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, which to me is incredible. So thank you for the support. And if you're brand new and you like this video and enjoy it, make sure to subscribe as well so you can get notified when more come out in the future. But we're not going to waste too much time today. Let's jump into the video looking at the first card on our list. Now, the first card on the list is the Bubble Mew from Paldean Fates. No surprise here at all. Everyone is talking about this card right now. It is blowing up in every sense of the world. The raw card is blowing up. The graded card is blowing up. Everything is just going up and up in value. And I just think this is one of the best cards in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. So it kind of is deserved that it is getting so much attention and it is growing in price value as well. I think the amount of people that actually want this card and like this card versus how many actually have it, it just kind of outweighs the other. So when you look at a card like this that is highly desirable, it's a fan favorite Pokemon, and there is not many of them around at all. Plus the PSA 10 version of this card is extremely expensive. So people do have that high desirability around it, causing this price to spike. So this one is sitting at 680 USD right now, which is up 127% in the last 3 months, which is incredible. Even in the last month, it is up 83%. So the last couple of weeks, it's just gone crazy. You could have bought this a couple of months ago for $293, and now it's sitting at 681. So if you slept on it back here, you're in for a world of hurt when you look at the pricing now. I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed they didn't pick it up back in July when it was still under the $300 mark. But luckily for myself, I have a copy of this. It is a PSA 9, but I still have a copy of it. And I'm pretty happy to hang on to it for the time being and just ride this wave while the value goes up and up. And then when we see it start to dip back down again, maybe I'll get out of it at that point. But I really do love it. It's super cute. It's a cool homage to the original movie. But with that said, let's move into the next card, which is, by no surprise, another Mew. The Mew V from Fusion Strike. It is just a Mew central on this list. And as we get through the next couple of cards as well, you'll see that we're not done with this one. So 36% up right now, sitting at the $88 mark. I like this card as well. I just think it's something about Mew that it always has such cool designs on all of the cards. It doesn't matter which one it is, but they just seem to all be really, really nice. I don't know if this one is because of a buyout, because you can see on the chart down here that when it was around the $61 mark, there was a huge amount of purchases, 50 items sold, when the normal is sort of 1 to 5 and maybe getting to like 13 every now and then. But then randomly on this 3-day period, we had 50 items sold, spiking the price up to $88. So there is a very real chance that this does go down again. I wouldn't rush to buy this one, but maybe keep an eye on it. Or alternatively, if you find it for a cheap deal where it's still sort of $50 to $60, then maybe pull the trigger and you can grab it for a bit of a steal compared to what it's worth currently. Fusion Strike is also a really strong set. It's really expensive now. To buy a booster box of this will cost you a pretty penny. To buy loose packs of this will cost you a bit. So the fact that this is a really cool alternate art Mew, I think that the value on this long term is just going to keep going up. So one to keep your eyes on in the near future as well. Surprise, surprise, another Mew. You guys are going to get sick of seeing Mews in a minute because it's all over this list this week. The Celebrations Secret Mew, the shiny Mew on the gold card. Again, another one. This is probably one of my lesser liked Mew cards. It's kind of boring when you compare it to the other two that we've seen and also the next one that's coming on this list. But it is up 94%, probably because of a buyout again. Looks like 44 items sold here when normally it's sort of 10 to 15 selling in each 3-day block. But 44 items, driving it up to the current price of $58. Celebrations, there's obviously speculation that the value is going to continue to climb and continue to go up purely because it's the 30th anniversary next year. I definitely get the logic behind that, and I definitely see the sealed celebration stuff going up in value. but these single cards can be really hit or miss. It's hard to say what they're going to do. So again, probably just watch and see where these ones go to see if it's actual hype or if it's just a buyout like this one looks to be. Because if you buy in now at 58 and then it drops to 40 or 30 again, you're going to be a little bit mad at yourself. So maybe one to wait out and just see. Again, another Mew. This one from Fusion Strike again. I'm not going to say the exact same thing as the other card, but it's pretty much the exact same thing as the other card. Slightly lesser growth on this one at 12%, but it does look like it is trending upwards at a pretty quick rate. We've had a lot of purchases here, 9 items, 11 items, 8 items, 8 items, when normally there's only like 2 or 3, and some days even 0 selling. So the fact that this is starting to sell more often is obviously the reasoning behind the price spike on TCG Player. But I do have a lot of interesting comments coming around, like TCG Player price versus like eBay last sold price and price charting prices. I'm going to do a video comparison on that too, because I think it's a really interesting topic. So keep an eye out for that video coming later in the week, where we discuss all of the different pricing websites and what you should probably do when you're looking to purchase cards. Now, this one, again, it could just be a pump and dump. It could be a buyout, but it has gone up pretty rapidly. So again, just wait it out, see how you go, and we'll go from there. A lot of Fusion Strike on this list this week. So the Celebi V has also taken a bit of an upswing with 15% increase over the last 3 months, which is pretty much just the last month when you're looking at the graph. It's up 31% in the last month. Probably because of that big spike right there, 36 items sold. Again, it seems like more and more cards are just being bought out on a day-to-day basis. I know the hype is there. I know Pokemon is getting increasingly popular, and it has been ever since, like, I don't know, January probably, maybe December even, when Pokemon Pocket came out. That kind of started the boom of collectors again. But I really like this Celebi card. You'll see if you watched my last grading submission video that I actually graded this and was able to get it in a PSA 10. So I'm really happy with that, being able to get a 10 and now seeing some price rises on the back of it. So that's just a good read on my part. I really liked the design around this card, and I think Celebi again is a really cool Pokemon. So this for me was a no-brainer to send off to grading, and obviously my judgment was pretty good because now it's starting to go up. More Fusion Strike. It's just never ending with Fusion Strike right now. The Gengar VMAX is on the list this week from TCG Player, only up 7%, but 7% would have taken it from 578 to 631 where it is right now. So still a $50 swing and a bit of an increase. These, it's hard to say if it's like a buyout or if more people are just interested in it, because it's a little bit more consistent in sales over the last couple of months compared to a few of the other cards that have been on this list. This is always going to be one of those ones where people love it and people are excited by it. So I think the value on this is never going to dip too much. It's probably always going to be around the $600 mark. But when you check TCG Player, everything from here is priced above 640. And if you go to the first one by a starred seller, it's 700. 700, 750, 750, 750, 775. So this one, if they keep selling on TCG Player from these sellers, it's just going to keep going up in value as well. Next up, another one of my predictions. So if you watched my video late last week about some underrated cards or undervalued cards that I thought, I talked about this Charizard from Paldean Fates. Did I do this? I don't know. Probably not. But again, just a good read on my part. I think that with the Bubble Mew rising, that it was only a matter of time before this Charizard started rising, because it's probably one of the coolest Charizard arts we've ever gotten. And some people will disagree because they don't like the Terra stuff. I get it, but I think it's an awesome artwork. I think the colors are great. I think the design is great. And yeah, this thing's just going up now. So 38 or just under 38% up, sitting at $241 now, where you could have picked it up recently for 167, even as low as 158 here back in the start of July. So these cards are just moving right now. Next up, Evo Sky's Rayquaza V. This one's not actually up in the last 3 months, but it is back up in the last month. So I think TCG Player included this on their rises list because it has been such a sharp increase, but it basically dropped off for a couple of months and landed itself at like $192. And now it's sort of rocketed back up to 228. So let's take a look at the last month, up 18%. And again, it kind of shows how volatile some of these cards can be. They can go up, they can go down, they can go up, they can go down, and then eventually they'll just level out at a certain point. So you can never really gain, I guess, full trust in where you purchase a certain card at, because at any point it could be pumped, and then at any point it can also dip off as well. So this is a really interesting one to look at. I don't know what the go is with it dropping and then going back up, but again, couple of purchases in here, nothing too crazy, but an interesting card to look at nonetheless. Next up, this is actually not on TCG Players list, but this is one that I just sort of went and found on my own by doing some digging. The Secret Pikachu from Crown Zenith is up 170%, absolutely flying in the last 3 months. And the last month specifically has just taken off, up 74% in the last month. So this is one of my favorite cards from Crown Zenith. I think a lot of it, I mean, to be honest, a lot of Crown Zenith is just gorgeous artwork, but this one is really cool. I remember buying this in a PSA 10 from a local card store for, I think it was 140 or 150 Australian. Literally like 2 weeks later, I sold it for 250 Australian. So the attention that this card gets is definitely there. And I think it's one of those ones that in 10 years time, people are going to look back and wish that they purchased this when it was 30 bucks. I think even a couple of months ago, you could have got this card for $12, which is crazy to think that it was 12 bucks and now it's 33. So it's never too late. You can always purchase these cards. I'm sure some people haven't caught up with the trend. Even as late as, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, this card was still at $22. So some places might not have updated their pricing with this one and staying on top of it. And then the last card on the list is the Misty's Lapras. This is kind of a bonus one, but it's not super taking off yet, but it's been consistently selling over the last 3 months. And all of a sudden it's had this big spike in price value, but it's not off the back of a buyout. There hasn't been a buyout in the last couple of weeks. The most sales it had was 59 items in the middle of June, which was a couple of months ago now. So there's definitely been no funny business with this one, but it is increasing and it's still going up pretty rapidly when you have a look at the chart. Even in the last 1 month, it's gone up 8%. So one to keep an eye on. But the other thing I know with this card specifically is the fact that the PSA 10 copy of this is demanding a pretty high premium. You look at a $34 card and you probably think around 150, 200 bucks in a PSA 10. This I'm pretty sure is like 350, 400. So they're clearly hard to grade. They're demanding a premium and people are starting to buy them up to see if they can then submit them for grading, get the 10s and capitalize on the gains that they get from that. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for this card. It's not necessarily worth a ton of money. However, if you can find a really well-centered one that you can submit for grading, there's definitely a good bit of profit to be made in that card. But with that said, that's all of the cards we have for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe and leave a thumbs up down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.